यशोदादियुलक तादवमानं परं रसम् अत्यन्तोद्धृत्य गोप्या नृदन्त मुहुर्नेत्रं युग्मं न चन्तं करं भुजायुग्मेन सतन्तनेत्रं मुहुः स्वान्तकं पत्रे रेखां कथन्त स्थिता शिवं तामोदरां भक्तिवेदम् इति विक्ष्वालीलादि अनन्तपुण्ये स्वादोषं विमायन्तम् आख्यायन्ताम् तदिये सिताग्नेषु अस्तिता त्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्थं शाकावृति वन्दे परं देवां मोक्षं न मोक्षं पदुं वा न चन्यं प्रेमेऽहं वरिष्ठादपि न इदं एव पूर्णता गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्या वीरसां किमन्या इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अद्यापनीले रसं कुन्दप्लैक्ष्णिता रसस्य गोप्या मुहुस्कुम्भितां बिन्दारतं दरं मे मानस्य विरास्तम् आलं लक्षराभि नमो देवा दामोदर अनन्तविष्णु प्रसीद प्रबोधित चारतिमग्नं कृपाकृष्णविस्याति दिनं भतानु ग्रहणे क्षमा अज्ञा हेदाक्ष्यतस्य कुबेरत्मा चौगत मुद्यगत्वा त्वया मुचितौ भक्ति भजकृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वार्थामुपयाच नमोच्च ग्रहो मेस्ति दामोदरेण नमस्ते तु दामेस्तु रादितिदामे त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य दाने नमो राधिकाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Damodar Radha, Damodar Radha, Damodar Radhe. Jaya Yashoda, Damodar Yashoda, Damodar Yashoda, Damodar
Stop this, and this one is for Damodar. You press it once. You press it, yeah, you press it twice, it's a different melody. You press it twice, it's different. The first one is Radha.
Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman, Jaya Sitaram.
Something that works then. Anyway, sometimes it works along, but this is working during the party. It doesn't work after party.
Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Rajamanam. Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Rajamanam. Yashodabhyolukaladavamanam, Yashodabhyolukaladavamanam, Paramrishtamatyantato drutya gopya. Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Rajamanam. Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Rajamanam. Rudantam muhurnetra yugmam rijantam Karambhojayugmena satantanetram. Rudantam muhurnetra yugmam rijantam Karambhojayugmena satantanetram. Muhushvasakam patrirekhankakantha Stitagraivam damodaram bhaktivedam. Muhushvasakam patrirekhankakantha Stitagraivam damodaram bhaktivedam. Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Rajamanam. Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Rajamanam. Itirdriksvalilabhir Anandakunde Swagosham nimajjantam akhyaapayantam. Itirdriksvalilabhir Anandakunde Swagosham nimajjantam akhyaapayantam. Tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktairjitatvam Una prematastam shatavriti vande. Tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktairjitatvam Una prematastam shatavriti vande. Namamishwaram Satchidanandarupam लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशादपीह वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशादपीह इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्या विरास्तं किमन्यै इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्या विरास्तं किमन्यै नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलय ऋतं कुन्तलै स्निग्धैरक्तैश्च गोप्या इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलय ऋतं कुन्तलै स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्य विरास्तं तलं लक्षलाभय मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्य विरास्तं तलं लक्षलाभय नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाभिमग्नं नमो देवदामोदर आनन्त विष्णो नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाभिमग्नं कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु गृहाणि क्षमामज्ञा हेद्यक्षिदृश्य कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु गृहाणि क्षमामज्ञा हेद्यक्षिदृश्य नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्ड लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् कुबेरात्मजौ बद्ध मूर्त्यैव यद्वा त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ बद्ध मूर्त्यैव यद्वा त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरे तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरे नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् नमस्ते सुदाम्ने स्फुरादीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाथ विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमस्ते स्तु धाम्ने स्फुरादीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाथ विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय नमो राधिकायाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
That is the main reason I use this.
Music, na vidya sangitottamam. The Vedic mantras were all through music. Samved is full of music. Jang Brahma Varunanda Rudram Marudasthananti Dibbhai Savai Vedai Sanga Padakrama.
Param Prasam Atyanta Prodrutya Gopya
Muhu swasakam patri rekham satantha Sita evam tamoduram bhaktivadam Viti vikshvaliladi anantapunye Swadosham vimanyantam akhyayantam Tadye sitagneshu astirtitatvam Puna prematastam satavriti vande Param devam moksham na moksham padunva Nachanyam prineham vareshadapena Idam eva purnata gopalabalam Sada me manasya virastam kimanya Idam te mukumbhakam atyatanile Rasam indalaiksnika rastasya gopya Muhuskumbitam vindaratam dharame Manasya virastam alam laksharavi Namo Devadamoda Ananta Vishnu Rashita Prabodhika Charakdimagnam Kripa Kristrivisyati Dinam Bhatanu Grahane Shama Agnya Hedakshyanasya Uve Ratma Chaubhata Mutya Prayatva Tvaya Mochita Bhakti Vraja Pritaucha Tatha Prema Bhaktin Swakami Prayacha Namo Prahomesti Dhamudaveha Namaste Tudamestu Raditi Dame Twadika Daraya Twa Vishwasya Dame Namo Radhikaya Twadya Priyaya Namo Anantalilaya Devaya Turyam Namo Radhikaya Twadya Priyaya Namo Anantalilaya Devaya Turyam Namo Anantalilaya Devaya Turyam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda Damodar, Yashoda Damodar. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman. Jaya Gaurani Tai, Gaurani Tai, Jaya Gaurani Tai, Jaya Gaurani Tai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal 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 Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya 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 Gopal Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Hare
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande, Shishi Radha Damodar ki, Shishi Yashoda Damodar ki, Shishi Radha Kukulananda ki, Shishi Sita Ram Lakshman Hanumani ki, Shishi Gaur Nitai ki, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurun militam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's recitation of Krishna book. It's such a pleasure to be here to share this story. And we'll start straight away because it's a really good one. This is the Stealing of the Boys and Calves by Brahma. So, Sukadev Goswami was very much encouraged when Maharaj Parikshit asked him why the cowherd boys did not discuss the death of Aghasura until after 1 year had passed. He explained thus, "My dear king, you're making the subject matter of the transcendental pastimes of Krishna fresher by your inquisitiveness. It is said that it is the nature of a devotee to constantly apply his mind, energy, words, ears, etc., in hearing and chanting about Krishna. This is called Krishna consciousness. And for one who is wrapped in hearing and chanting Krishna, the subject matter never becomes hackneyed or old. That is the significance of transcendental subject matter, in contrast to material subject matter. Material subject matter becomes stale, and one cannot hear a certain subject for a long time. He wants change. But as far as transcendental subject matter is concerned, it is called Nitya Nava Navayamana. This means that one can go on chanting and hearing about the Lord and never feel tired, but remain fresh and eager to hear more and more. It is the duty of the spiritual master to disclose all confidential subject matter to the inquisitive and sincere disciple. Thus, Sukadev Goswami began to explain why the killing of Aghasura was not discussed until 1 year had passed. Sukadev Goswami told the king, "Now hear of this secret with attention. After saving his friends from the mouth of Aghasura, and after killing the demon, Lord Krishna brought his friends to the bank of Yamuna and addressed them as follows. My dear friends, just see how this spot is very nice for taking lunch and playing on the soft, sandy Yamuna bank. You can see how the lotus flowers in the water are beautifully blown and how they distribute their flavor all around. The chirping of the birds along with the cooing of the peacock, surrounded by the whispering of the leaves in the trees, combine and present sound vibrations that echo one another. And this just enriches the beautiful scenery created by the trees here. Let us have our lunch in this spot because it's already late and we're feeling hungry. Let the calves remain near us and let them drink water from the Yamuna. While we engage in our lunch taking, the calves may engage in eating the soft grasses that are in this spot. On hearing this proposal from Krishna, all the boys became very glad and said, certainly, let us all sit down here to take our lunch. They then let loose the calves to eat the soft grass. Sitting down on the ground and keeping Krishna in the center. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshmana Hanuman ki jai. So keeping Krishna in the center, they began to open their different boxes brought from home. Lord Shri Krishna was seated in the center of the circle, and all the boys kept their faces towards him. They ate and constantly enjoyed seeing the Lord face to face. Krishna appeared to be the whirl of a lotus flower, and the boys surrounding him appeared to be its different petals. The boys collected flowers, leaves of flowers, and the bark of trees and placed them under their different boxes, and thus they began to eat their lunch, keeping company with Krishna. While taking lunch, each boy began to manifest different kinds of relations with Krishna, and they enjoyed each other's company with joking words. While Lord Krishna was thus enjoying lunch with his friends, his flute was pushed within the belt of his cloth, and his bugle and cane were pushed on the left-hand side of his cloth. He was holding a lump of foodstuff prepared with yogurt, butter, rice, and pieces of fruit salad in his left palm, which could be seen through his petal-like finger joints. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who accepts the results of all great sacrifices, was laughing and joking, enjoying lunch with his friends in Vrindavan. And thus the scene was being observed by the demigods from heaven. As for the boys, they were simply enjoying transcendental bliss in the company of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At that time, the calves that were pasturing nearby entered into the deep forest, allured by new grasses, and gradually went out of sight. When the boys saw that the calves were not nearby, they became afraid for their safety, and they immediately cried out, Krishna! Krishna is the killer of fear personified. Everyone is afraid of fear personified, but fear personified is afraid of Krishna. By crying out the word Krishna, the boys at once transcended the fearful situation. Out of his great affection, Krishna did not want his friends to give up their pleasing lunch engagement, and he therefore said, my dear friends, you need not interrupt your lunch. Go on enjoying. I'm going personally where the calves are. Thus Lord Krishna immediately started to search out the calves in the caves and the bushes. He searched in the mountain holes and in the forests, but nowhere could he find them. At the time when Aghasura was killed and the demigods were looking on the incident with great surprise, Brahma, who was born of the lotus flower growing out of the navel of Vishnu, also came to see. He was surprised at how a little boy like Krishna could act so wonderfully. Although he was informed that the little cowherd boy was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he wanted to see more glorified pastimes of the Lord, and thus he stole all the calves and cowherd boys and took them to a different place. Lord Krishna, therefore, in spite of searching for the calves, could not find them, and he even lost his boyfriends on the bank of the Yamuna, where they'd been taking their lunch. In the form of a cowherd boy, Lord Krishna was very little in comparison to Brahma, but because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could immediately understand that all the calves and boys had been stolen by Brahma. Krishna thought, Brahma has taken away all the boys and calves. How can I alone return to Vrindavan? The mothers will be aggrieved. Therefore, in order to satisfy the mothers of his friends, as well as to convince Brahma of the supremacy of the personality of Godhead, he immediately expanded himself as the cowherd boys and calves. In the Vedas, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead expands himself in so many living entities by his energy. Therefore, it was not very difficult for him to expand himself again into so many boys and calves. He expanded himself to become exactly like the boys, who were all of different features, facial and bodily construction, and who were different in their clothing and ornaments, and in their behavior and personal activities. In other words, everyone has different tastes, being an individual soul, and each person has entirely different activities and behavior. Yet Krishna exactly expanded himself into all the different positions of the individual boys. He also became the calves, who were also of different sizes, colors, activities, etc. This was possible because everything is an expansion of Krishna's energy. In the Vishnu Puran, it is said, Parasya Brahmana Shakti. Whatever we actually see in the cosmic manifestation, be it matter or the activities of the living entities, it's simply an expansion of the energies of the Lord, as heat and light are the different expansions of fire. Thus expanding himself as the boys and calves in their individual capacities and surrounded by such expansions of himself, Krishna entered the village of Vrindavan. The residents had no knowledge of what had happened. After entering the village Vrindavan, all the calves entered their respective cowsheds, and the boys also went to their respective mothers and homes. The mothers of the boys heard the vibration of their flutes before their entrance, and to receive them, they came out of their homes and embraced them. And out of maternal affection, milk was flowing from their breasts, and they allowed the boys to drink it. However, their offering was not exactly to their boys, but to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had expanded himself into such boys. This was another chance for all the mothers of Vrindavan to feed the Supreme Personality of Godhead with their own milk. Therefore, not only did Krishna give Yashoda the chance to feed him, but this time he gave a chance to all the elderly gopis. All the boys began to deal with their mothers as usual. And the mothers also, on the approach of evening, began to bathe their respective children, decorate them with tilak and ornaments, and give them necessary food after the day's labour. The cows also, who were away in the pasturing grounds, returned in the evening and began to call their respective calves. The calves immediately came to their mothers, and the mothers began to lick the bodies of the calves. These relations between the cows and the gopis with their calves and boys remained unchanged, although actually the original calves and boys were not there. Actually, the cows' affection for their calves and the elderly gopis' affection for the boys causelessly increased. Their affection increased naturally, even though the calves and boys were not their offspring. Although the cows and elderly gopis of Vrindavan had greater affection for Krishna than for their own offspring, after this incident their affection for their offspring increased exactly as it did for Krishna. For 1 year continually, Krishna himself expanded as the calves and cowherd boys and was present in the pasturing ground. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's expansion is situated in everyone's heart as a supersoul. Similarly, instead of expanding himself as a supersoul, he expanded himself as a portion of calves and cowherd boys for 1 continuous year. One day, when Krishna, along with Balaram, was maintaining the calves in the forest, they saw some cows grazing on top of Govardhan Hill. The cows could see down into the valley where the calves were being taken care of by the boys. Suddenly, on sighting their calves, the cows began to run towards them. They leapt downhill with joined front and rear legs. The cows were so melted with affection for their calves that they did not care about the rough path from the top of Govardhan Hill down to the pasturing ground. They began to approach the calves with their milk bags full of milk, and they raised their tails upwards. When they were coming down the hill, their milk bags were pouring milk on the ground out of intense maternal affection for the calves, although they were not their own calves. These cows had their own calves, and the calves that were grazing beneath Govardhan Hill were larger. They were not expected to drink milk directly from the milk bag, but were satisfied with the grass. Yet all the cows came immediately and began to lick their bodies, and the calves also began to suck milk from the milk bags. There appeared to be a great bond of affection between the cows and calves. When the cows were running down from the top of Govardhan Hill, the men who were taking care of them tried to stop them. Elderly cows are taken care of by the men, and the calves are taken care of by the boys, and as far as possible, the calves are kept separate from the cows, so the calves do not drink all the available milk. Therefore, the men who were taking care of the cows on top of Govardhan Hill tried to stop them, but they failed. Baffled by their failure, they were feeling ashamed and angry. They were very unhappy. But when they came down and saw their children taking care of the calves, they all of a sudden became very affectionate towards the children. It was very astonishing. Although the men came down disappointed, baffled, and angry, as soon as they saw their own children, their hearts melted with great affection. At once their anger, dissatisfaction, and unhappiness disappeared. They began to show paternal love for the children, and with great affection they lifted them in their arms and embraced them. They began to smell their children's heads and enjoy their company with great happiness. After embracing their children, the men again took the cows back to the top of Govardhan Hill. Along the way, they began to think of their children, and affectionate tears fell from their eyes. When Balaram saw this extraordinary exchange of affection between the cows and their calves, and between the fathers and their children, when neither the calves nor the children needed so much care, he began to wonder why this extraordinary thing happened. He was astonished to see all the residents of Vrindavan so affectionate for their own children, exactly as they had been for Krishna. Similarly, the cows had grown affectionate for their calves as much as for Krishna. Balaram therefore concluded that the extraordinary show of affection was something mystical, either performed by the demigods or by some powerful man. Otherwise, how could this wonderful change take place? He concluded that this mystical change must have been caused by Krishna, whom Balaram considered his worshipful personality of Godhead. He thought, it was arranged by Krishna, and even I could not check its mystic power. Thus, Balaram understood that all the boys and calves were only expansions of Krishna. Balaram inquired from Krishna about the actual situation. He said, "My dear Krishna, in the beginning I thought that all these cows, calves, and cowherd boys were either great sages and saintly persons or demigods. But at the present it appears that they're actually your expansions. They're all you. You yourself are playing as the calves, cows, and boys. What is the mystery of this situation? Where have those other calves and cows and boys gone? And why are you expanding yourself as the cows, calves, and boys? Will you kindly tell me what is the cause?" At the request of Balaram, Krishna briefly explained the whole situation, how the calves and boys were stolen by Brahma, and how he was concealing the incident by expanding himself so people would not know that the original cows, calves, and boys were missing. While Krishna and Balaram were talking, Brahma returned after a moment's interval. According to the duration of his life, we have information of Lord Brahma's duration of life from the Bhagavad Gita. 1,000 times the duration of the 4 ages, or 4,300,000 times 1,000 years, comprises Brahma's 12 hours. Similarly, 1 moment of Brahma is equal to 1 year of our solar calculation. After 1 moment of Brahma's calculation, Brahma came back to see the fun caused by his stealing the boys and calves. But he was also afraid that he was playing with fire. Krishna was his master, and he'd played mischief for fun by taking away the calves and boys. He was really anxious, so he did not stay away very long. He came back after a moment of his calculation. He saw that all the boys, calves, and cows were playing with Krishna in the same way as when he'd come upon them, although he was confident that he'd taken them and made them lie down asleep under the spell of his mystic power. Brahma began to think, all the boys, calves, and cows were taken away by me, and I know they're still sleeping. How is it that a similar batch of cows, boys, and calves is playing with Krishna? Is it that they're not influenced by my mystic power? Have they been playing continually for 1 year with Krishna? Brahma tried to understand who they were and how they were uninfluenced by his mystic power, but he could not ascertain it. In other words, he himself came under the spell of his own mystic power. The influence of his mystic power appeared like snow in darkness, or the glowworm in daytime. During the night's darkness, the glowworm can show some glittering power, and the snow piled up on the top of a hill or on the ground can shine during the daytime. But at night, the snow has no silver glitter, nor does the glowworm have any illuminating power. but that's at night. The snow has no silver glitter, nor does the glowworm have any illuminating power during the daytime. Similarly, when the small mystic power exhibited by Brahma was before the mystic power of Krishna, it was just like snow or the glowworm. When a man of small mystic power wants to show potency in the presence of great mystic power, he diminishes his own influence, and he does not increase it. Even such a great personality as Brahma, when he wanted to show his mystic power before Krishna, became ludicrous. Brahma was thus confused about his own mystic power. In order to convince Brahma that all those cows, calves and boys were not the original ones, the cows, calves and boys who were playing with Krishna transformed into Vishnu forms. Actually, the original ones were sleeping under the spell of Brahma's mystic power, but the present ones, seen by Brahma, were all immediate expansions of Krishna or Vishnu. Vishnu is the expansion of Krishna. So the Vishnu forms appeared before Brahma. All the Vishnu forms were of bluish colour and dressed in yellow garments. All of them had 4 hands decorated with club, disc, lotus flower and conch shell. On their heads were glittering gold and jewelled helmets. They were bedecked with pearl earrings and garland with beautiful flowers. On their necks were the mark of Srivatsa. Their arms were decorated with armlets and other jewellery. Their necks were smooth, just like conch shell. Their legs were decorated with belts, their waists decorated with golden belts, and their fingers decorated with jewelled rings. Brahma also saw that upon the whole body of Vishnu, fresh tulsi buds were thrown, beginning from his lotus feet up to the top of his head. Another significant feature of the Vishnu forms was that all of them were looking transcendently beautiful. Their smiling resembled the moonshine, and their glancing resembled the early rising of the sun. Just by their glancing, they appeared as the creators and maintainers of the modes of ignorance and passion. Vishnu represents the mode of goodness, Brahma represents the mode of passion, and Lord Shiva represents the mode of ignorance. Therefore, as maintainer of everything in the cosmic manifestation, Vishnu is also creator and maintainer of Brahma and Lord Shiva. After this manifestation of Lord Vishnu, Brahma saw that many other Brahmas and Shivas and demigods and even insignificant living entities down to the ants and very small straws, movable and immovable living entities, were dancing, surrounding Lord Vishnu. Their dancing was accompanied by various kinds of music, and all of them were worshipping Lord Vishnu. Brahma realized that all those Vishnu forms were complete, beginning from the anima perfection of being small like an atom up to becoming infinite like the cosmic manifestation. All the mystic powers of Brahma, Shiva, all the demigods and the 24 elements of cosmic manifestation were fully represented in the person of Vishnu. By the influence of Lord Vishnu, all subordinate mystic powers were engaged in his worship. He was being worshipped by time, space, cosmic manifestation, reformation, desire, activity, and the 3 qualities of material nature. Lord Vishnu, Brahma, also realizes the reservoir of all truth, knowledge and bliss. He is the combination of 3 transcendental features, namely eternity, knowledge and bliss, and he is the object of worship by the followers of the Upanishads. Brahma realized that all the different forms of cows, boys and calves transformed into Vishnu forms were not transformed by mysticism of the type of that a yogi or a demigod can display, by specific powers invested in him. The cows, calves and boys transformed into Vishnu murtis or Vishnu forms. They were not displays of Vishnu Maya or Vishnu energy, but were Vishnu himself. The respective qualifications of Vishnu and Vishnu Maya are just like fire and heat. In the heat, there is the qualification of fire, namely warmth, and yet heat is not fire. The manifestation of the Vishnu forms of the boys, cows and calves were not like heat, but rather like the fire. They were actually Vishnu. Okay. I was just wondering, should I keep going or should I ask if anybody would like to? We probably have 5 minutes left to finish the story. Yeah? Is that okay with everyone if we carry on? Okay. Factually, the qualification of Vishnu is full truth, full knowledge and full bliss. Another example can be given with material objects which are reflected in many, many forms. For example, the sun is reflected in many water pots, but the reflection of the sun in many pots are not actually the sun. There is no actual heat and light from the sun in the pot, although it appears as the sun. But the forms which Krishna assumed were each and every one full Vishnu. Satya means truth, Gyan full of knowledge, and Ananda full bliss. Transcendental forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his person are so great that the impersonal followers of the Upanishads cannot reach the platform of knowledge to understand them. Particularly, the transcendental forms of the Lord are beyond the reach of the impersonalists, who can only understand through the studies of Upanishads and the absolute truth that the absolute truth is not matter, and the absolute truth is not materially restricted by limited potency. Lord Brahma understood Krishna and his expansion into Vishnu forms, and could understand that due to the expansion of energy of the Supreme Lord, everything movable and immovable within the cosmic manifestation is existing. When Brahma was thus standing, baffled in his limited power and conscious of his limited activities within the 11 senses, he could at least realize that he was also a creation of the material energy, just like a puppet. As a puppet has no independent power to dance, but dances according to the direction of the puppet master, so the demigods and living entities are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the only master is Krishna and all others are servants. The whole world is under the waves of the material spell, and beings are floating like straws in water. So their struggle for existence is continuing. But as soon as one becomes conscious that he is the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this Maya or illusory struggle for his existence is immediately stopped. Lord Brahma, who has full control over the goddess of learning and who is considered to be the best authority in Vedic knowledge, was thus perplexed, being unable to understand the extraordinary power manifested in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the mundane world, even a personality like Brahma is unable to understand the potential mystic power of the Supreme Lord. Not only did Brahma fail to understand, but he was perplexed, even to see the display which was being manifested by Krishna before him. Krishna took compassion upon Brahma's inability to see even how he was displaying the force of Vishnu in transferring himself into cows and cowherd boys, and thus, while fully manifesting the Vishnu expansion, he suddenly pulled his curtain of Yogamaya over the scene. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not visible due to the curtain spread by Yogamaya. That which covers the reality is Mahamaya, or the external energy, which does not allow a conditioned soul to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead beyond the cosmic manifestation. But the energy which partially manifests the Supreme Personality of Godhead and partially does not allow one to see is called Yogamaya. Brahma is not an ordinary conditioned soul. He is far, far superior to all the demigods, and yet he could not comprehend the display of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Krishna willingly stopped manifesting any further potency. The conditioned soul not only becomes bewildered, but is completely unable to understand. The curtain of Yogamaya was drawn so that Brahma would not become more and more complex. When Brahma was relieved from his perplexity, he appeared to be awakened from an almost dead state, and he began to open his eyes with great difficulty. Thus he could see the eternal cosmic manifestation with common eyes. He saw all around him the super excellent view of Vrindavan, full with trees, which is the source of life for all living entities. He could appreciate the transcendental land of Vrindavan, where all the living entities are transcendental to ordinary nature. In the forest of Vrindavan, even ferocious animals like tigers and others live peacefully along with the deer and human beings. He could understand that because of the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Vrindavan, the place is transcendental to all other places, and there is no lust and greed there. Brahma thus found Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, playing the part of a small cowherd boy. He saw that little child with a lump of food in his left hand, searching out his friends, cows and calves, just as he was actually doing 1 year before, after their disappearance. Immediately Brahma descended from his great swan carrier and fell down before the Lord, just like a golden stick. The word used among Vaishnavas for offering respects is dandavat. This word means falling down like a stick. One should offer respects to the superior Vaishnav by falling down straight with his body just like a stick. So Brahma fell down before the Lord just like a stick to offer respects. And because the complexion of Brahma is golden, he appeared to be like a golden stick lying down before Lord Krishna. All the 4 helmets on the heads of Brahma touched the lotus feet of Krishna. Brahma, being very joyful, began to shed tears, and he washed the lotus feet of Krishna with his tears. Repeatedly he fell and rose as he recalled the wonderful activities of the Lord. After repeating obeisances for a very long time, Brahma stood up and smeared his hands over his eyes. Seeing the Lord before him, and he trembling, began to offer prayers with great respect, humility and attention. So this is a really good time to stop because we are about to get darshan of our Lord Sri Shivada Gokulananda, and maybe we can take the wonder and the awe of Brahma, the beauty of some of these passages in our hearts, so we can fully offer ourselves to Krishna just as Brahma did in this pastime. There is a saying, Premanjana Bhakti Vilochanena, that we view the Lord with the eyes anointed with love, with the salve of love. So I wish you a lovely evening in Krishna consciousness. Shri Shivada Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Jai Gaur Premanande Hari.
आपको मृदंग आता है? डबल ताल मेरे को नहीं
नमः सचिदानंद रूपम् लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं यशोदाप्रियलुकलग्धवमानं परं विष्टमत्यन्ततो धृत्यगोप्य यशोदाप्रियलुकलग्धवमानं परं यशोदाप्रियलुकलग्धवमानं परमेष्टमत्यन्ततो धृत्यगोप्य रुदन्तमुहुर्त्रं युग्मं मृजन्तं करं भुजयुग्मेन शतङ्कनेत्रं रुदन्तमुहुर्त्रं युग्मं मृजन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रं युग्मं मृजन्तं करं भुजयुग्मेन शतं स्वसकम्पतिरेकान्तकान्ता श्रीतद्वैव दामोदरं भक्तिवदम् मो श्वासकम्पतिरेकान्तकान्ता श्रीतद्वैव दामोदरं भक्तिवदम् मो श्वासकम्पतिरेकान्तकान्ता श्रीतद्वैव दामोदरं भक्तिवदम् मोहशासकम्पतिरेकान्तकान्ता इति दृक्षलीलाभिरानन्दकुन्दे स्वभुसमीमाचन्तमाख्यापयन्तम् इति दृक्षलीलाभिरानन्दकुन्दे इति दृक्षलीलाभिरानन्दकुन्दे स्वगोसाम्निमाजन्तमाख्यापयन्तम् इति तदेषु तग्देषु भक्तिजितत्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं तथावृत्तिवन्दे तदेषु तग्देषु भक्तिजितत्वम् पुनः तदेषु तग्देषु भक्तिजितत्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं तथावृत्तिवन्दे तदेषु तग्देषु वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं गृह्णेऽहं वरेषदपीह वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं गृह्णेऽहं वरेषदपीह वरं इदां देव पुरनाथ गोपाल बाला idam teva purnatha gopala bala sada vimanasya virastam kimanye idam teva purnatha gopala bala idam teva purna kambujam atyanta nilai vritam kuntalai snigdha raktasya gopya idam te mukham bujam atyanta idam te mukham bujam atyanta nilai vritam kuntalai snigdha raktasya gopya idam te mukham bujam Mochomitam bimbarakta dharame manasya virastam malam lakshalave Mochomitam bimbarakta dharame manasya virastam malam Mochomitam bimbarakta dharame manasya virastam malam lakshalave Mochomitam bimbarakta dharame manasya Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasiddha Prabhu Dukha Jalakti Magna Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasiddha Prabhu Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Vinamvatano Griha Nishamamagyam Vedashidisha Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Vinamvatano Kripa drishti vrishyati vinamvatano vihanisya mamagyam vedasidesha Kripa drishti vrishyati vinamvatano Kuveratmajo vadda murtaiva yatvat Toyamujito bhakti bhajaprito cha Kuveratmajo तथा प्रेम भक्तिं च कामे प्रयाच्य नाम शग्रहो मे श्री दामोदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ नमोऽग्रहो मे श्री दामोदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ नमोऽग्रहो नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने प्रसिद्ध प्रभो दुःख जलक्तिमाग्ने नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने तदीयोदरा नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायत विश्वासदाम्ने नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नस्तनीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नस्तनीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radhe Radhe Jaya. Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Jai Radhe, Radha Gokulananda. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram. Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Ura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Ura Hari Bol, Jai Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki Jai, Shri Shri Yashoda Mai ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter, and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding motor in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with greatest speed. To the Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eye again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of the pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to the crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with the ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benediction, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balagopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like a bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering a glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nanakuver were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby, tied with a rope to the wooden grinding motor, in the same way, please give to me your own Prema Bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any other liberation. O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Shri Shri Yashoda Damodar Bhagavan Ki Jai.
Namaste Nara Shingaya. Namaste Nara Shingaya. Lada Dayane. Hiranyakasi Purvaksha. Hiranyakasi Purvaksha. Santana Kala. Tona Shingo Para Tona Shingo
Nrsingo Bhaya Nrsingo Hridaya Nrsingo Nrsingamadhichara Namarupadi Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jagadishvare Jayo Jagadishvare Jagadishvare Keshavadrita Hari Go.
गोकुलानंद की, राधा दामोदर भगवान की, सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, गोनिताय भगवान की, श्री वृंदावन धाम की, नवदीप मायापुर धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की, नाम आचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की, गंगा माई की, जमुना माई की, तुलसी देवी की, जगन्नाथपुरी की, अयोध्या धाम की, अयोध्या पत्री रामचंद्र भगवान की, निताई गौर प्रबंदे. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories Sri assembled devotees. All glories Sri Guru and Gauranga.
We have to pull this from this side and down. That's it. Perfect. You look at this. Probably, follow me. You guys take it off. This way, follow me. Follow me, sorry, here. Follow you. First, we're going to get these big